Night Show. We have attorney and cast member of the new TVOne show, the one, Donté B.
And now for your host, KoolKard.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kickin It with KoolKard show. I am your host, KoolKard. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm here kicking it with a great guest. You know, I always got the good guests coming on the show, bringing you the value, dropping gems, shedding light on things that you guys have questions to. Just trying to bring you guys the answers. I do this for you. Can't do it without you. If this is your first time tuning in, I do invite you to subscribe so you can continue getting the great gems that my guests do bring on this show. Now, this is 186. 185, I had Richie from the new reality TV show called The One, airing right now on TVOne. I do believe it's on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Somebody will correct me in a minute. But if you haven't checked it out, please make sure you check it out. But we're going to keep it rolling because now I'm getting a male's perspective from the show. I have attorney. Man, this guy, phenomenal guy. I've known him for ages. Good brother. Very talented, very smart brother. He goes by the name of Donté B. Grant. He has his own law firm. Yes, he is an attorney, but he is actually on the show looking for love. So we're going to talk about that. Attorneys need love too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get the male perspective and we're going to dive in. We'll check out a couple clips of his journey as well, you know, and find out everything that he's got going on. It's all about the journey, y'all. We just keep it organic and we just talk about that real life stuff. Give y'all some tools, put in y'all belt so y'all can go out and be great as well. All right. Without further ado, Donté B. Grant. Let's get it, y'all. Donté, what's going on, my brother?
Hey,
man,
I was peeping a little photo scroll you had going. I like how it ended with the ad. If you're injured, holler at your boy in a car accident because holler at your boy if you get in a car accident.
Man, you know I had to plug you. You know I had to represent you the right way, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, for sure. Attorney first. I like to tell people this, man. When I bring people on, I like to get to I like to humanize the conversation, humanize the interview. We're talking about who you are, not what you are, so to speak, because we could put that up in lights all day, right? Advertise, whatever. But we want to get to know the brother that you are, where you came from, how you got to where you are right now, and where you're going. Now, I mentioned reality show. This brother is not just a reality personality. This brother is a intellect. He's an attorney. This brother used to be an A&R. This brother used to he used to do his thing in the music business. All right, that's how I met him. I've known this brother for a very long time, and we're definitely gonna get into that because that's nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? We had some times, man. So it's been some years. So yeah. I can't wait to dive in. But first, I like to pray before every conversation. You okay with that?
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it. Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, we just thank you for bringing us back together. Me and Donté and I, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, we just thank you for just life, love, happiness, just waking us up this morning, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, just putting food on our table, clothes on our back, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, just allowing us to experience life, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, Lord Jesus. It just builds us and grooms us into who we are, the men that we are today. We just thank you, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, for just allowing us to give us a voice, to have a voice to lead people, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, and shed light on people, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, give people hope, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus. We just thank you for this platform so we can come together and speak so eloquently about life and our journeys, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, and just shine a light on everything that Donté is doing, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus. We just pray and ask that you just guide and lift him up throughout his journey, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, to where he's going, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen, brother. Amen, my brother. Man, listen, we got to go back. I know we're here. We're going to talk about the show. We're gonna talk about you being an attorney, but brother, we gotta take it back, man. We go back. Brother, when was the last time we saw each other like in person? Before we
Man,
ran into each other in the city, what, a couple months back, right? We ran into each other.
yeah, we
But
ran into
before
each
that,
other. Before that, man, it's probably been about a decade, bro. Yeah, about a decade, man.
that is crazy.
Crazy how time flies, man.
That is crazy.
So
Man,
much changed in that decade too. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
cause the last time I saw you, bruh, you were doing your thing, music business. You had landed the gig at Atlantic, got the
yep,
A&R job. You worked so hard for that. Like, you were rubbing so many shoulders, networking, hustling. Your brother was doing the music. I was doing the music. Like, it was a time, right? It was a
man, it was
time.
a time, bro. It was a time. Old Atlanta,
Oh
old
yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah,
Like, it's amazing to when I look back. Sometimes I'll be like, man, seems surreal to be, and not necessarily to be where I am, because I always expected to be successful and to like do the things I'm doing, but I just didn't like I can't even lie and say I'm not amazed at the path, like the journey.
right,
Like,
right.
that's the part that amazes me every day, man. Because life be lifing, man, and it could have easily went the other direction with some of the circles we was running in, some of the places we was at.
Yeah.
Man, this could be a different conversation right now.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. You know the
Yeah.
energy that was out there swirling
Yeah.
around us.
So that
Yeah.
prayer you just gave was much needed, and
Yeah. For sure.
appreciate it.
For sure, man. Yeah. But I'm happy to see you doing well, brother. You leveled up.
Likewise, brother.
You know what I'm saying? You leveled up, brother. You're an attorney. You got your own law firm. Like, that's what, like, when you told me that, I was like, yo, where did that come from? Like, I
Yeah.
know I thought you'd have been an exec in the music business by now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
wow. What happened? Like, what made that change in your life? What
Yeah,
made
funny
you?
story, man. Like, well, not really funny, but like since I was little, I always wanted to be an attorney.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Your audio went low a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Let me see. I didn't turn nothing. What about now? Good to go?
Yeah, it's a little better. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just speak up. Just speak up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, funny story, man. Like I always wanted to be an attorney since I was little, 7, 8 years old, watching Matlock, Perry Mason, shows like that with my grandma growing up. But honestly, man, like I never thought it was attainable, because when we grew up, man, you ain't see too many black attorneys,
Right.
and the ones you did see, they ain't grow up the way we grew up. Like, they definitely weren't from where I'm from.
Right.
So like, my first time even meeting a black attorney, like, I was an adult. I might have been in my mid-20s at that point. Nah, maybe early 20s. I think, like, my first time meeting a black attorney, shout out to Professor Ralph Watkins at Augusta State. Ralph Watkins brought an attorney to my class. I think I was a junior or a senior in college. But even so then, I still was like 21, 22 years old. So I just kind of thought it was like a pipe dream, something that wasn't really attainable. So fast forward, getting into the music business, like you stated, getting the job at Atlantic kind of pushed me to law school, because obviously you know how contracts are played out in the music business, and you know how one-sided they are.
Yeah, for sure.
So after, and even before getting the job at Atlanta, just working in music in general, like I always could tell, like the importance of having a good attorney to review contracts and all of that stuff, but not necessarily just reviewing it, but just to have somebody in your corner that look like you, that can protect you. And once I got the job at Atlantic, bro, like that was out the door. Like, I just look back at how many contracts or artists we signed to contracts that never had an attorney.
Wow. They were just
Or
going there, happy to be there, happy for the
happy to be
opportunity,
there.
signing
Happy
on
to
the
be
dotted
there.
line.
Yep. Or if they did have an attorney, it was our attorney. And I didn't know the issue with that back then.
Yeah.
Until I went to law school. First
Conflict,
day
man.
of contracts. Like, both parties should have an opportunity to have unbiased legal counsel.
Right.
And not saying the attorneys for Atlantic were biased, but look, they hired by Atlantic. So whose interests are they going to look out for? Atlantic
sure.
or the artist? So yeah, getting that job, man, and it was a blessing. It's something I had worked for a long time, but it just kind of opened my eyes up to like what I really should have been doing.
Okay. Yeah.
And twofold. Like you said, you surprised I ain't an exec. I started looking around and reading the room, man, and all the execs were either two things. Either they were a lawyer or they were a former talent, meaning either a former artist, former producer, former songwriter.
Right.
But like those were the qualifications. I didn't meet any execs outside of, the brothers who got on early 80s, like Steve Stout, Russell Simmons, Kevin Lyles, and those guys, Lear Cohen.
Right.
Like, I'm viewing it differently. I'm viewing like from 2005 and going forward, especially in the Atlantic building, Craig, Julie, all them lawyers, Z, lawyer.
Dang.
Yeah. So I was like, well, if you're going to do this, bro, you need to go to law school.
Right. Yo, that's crazy. So would you ever jump back in the industry, or you kind of...
Nah, they couldn't pay me enough.
I feel you.
They couldn't pay me enough. And I still love music. I still love everything. I love that grind. I love the process of seeing something get created. But I'd never work for another major label again. Mainly because they don't, like, we'd be in it for the wrong reasons. Like I'd be in it always to look out for the artist, like best wishes,
right,
from jump, and that don't mesh well with a major label.
Nah, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like their job is the bottom line to make money for that company,
right?
And by any means necessary,
By any means necessary.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, I could never. Now, of course, look, as an attorney, I have entertainment clients.
Okay.
And I try to stick it to the label every chance we get in those contract negotiations, because now I know what should be in the contract.
Right. Okay.
And now I also, I can see it from both lenses now, because I can reference the previous agreements we had when I was working at Atlantic, and or not even if I can't reference the agreement, like I can reference the objective,
right,
of the agreements.
Right.
So it's different. Like now I know what to look for. Now I know what terms matter, what conditions matter.
Okay.
And yeah, that wasn't always the case, man. Like, so salute the law school for that. As terrible as it was, it definitely helped get me to the point today where I I'm well versed in that aspect of being an attorney, like when it comes to entertainment contracts, whether it's music, production, television, whatever the case may be.
So what all do you practice? Because I know you do injury. I know about being a
we're full service. Yeah, my law firm, Brunson Grant Law Firm, we're full service law firm, man. So ideally, sports and entertainment. But I'm a trial lawyer. So, that's where the personal injury comes in at, because, catastrophic injury cases typically end in litigation, or end up in litigation because the insurance company don't want to pay.
Never.
Or they just can't agree on the amount they want to pay. And one thing I don't do is, give a $1 billion insurance company a pass for my clients. Like, we're not gonna do that. So, in doing that and being a trial attorney, and being in Metro Atlanta, like, personal injury is like the biggest game in town. You can't not do it, especially if you got your own firm. Well, I guess you can if you want to be successful. You cannot do it. Okay. But that ain't never aligned with me. Like, I've been a hustler my whole life. Now I'm just a hustler that got a law degree.
Right.
So,
right.
Here we are.
So for you, like, going through law school and all that, you said you hated it, right? It was rough. Is it really, like, what's the day in the life of a lawyer? Like, what is your workload like? What's work-life balance for you? Because because a lot of us on the outside looking in, look at an attorney and be like, how do you do it? Like, and how do you retain all of this stuff? And you know what I'm saying? How do you know all these laws and this and that and the third? And I know you got to study per case basis,
Yeah.
all that, but can you kind of
Right.
give us a little rundown on
Um.
how all that works
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not that I hated law school. It was tough.
Okay.
Um. But the process of it all to become a licensed attorney, man, that's a different kind of grind. Like you gotta be cut from a you gotta have tough metal. You gotta know how to persevere. So when I think about it like that, like I was built for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because where we come from, man, like how we came up, how we grew up, is not necessarily that I don't want to make it seem like I was out here in shootouts and nothing like that, because that definitely wasn't the case either. But it
Right.
was always, a survival of the fittest type environment, like growing up.
Yeah. For sure.
So law school breeds that. Like you gotta have that, otherwise you won't make it.
Get pulled.
You'll flunk out. So you got to be competitive. You got to have that drive to want to get to the next level. So fast forward, going through that process, passing the bar, becoming an attorney. Look, you know me, just like you, Card. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. So
Yeah.
it's no way I was gonna be an attorney and just go get a job and work for somebody. Like I was always gonna start my own firm.
Right. Yeah.
Now I didn't always know what practice area that would look like. I knew I wasn't gonna do criminal law though, because I don't need that stress. That
I would
wouldn't happen.
do it.
Yeah, but like the day-to-day life, man. As far as like, I will say, law school prepares you for practice from a standpoint of always studying and always like having to research law, research arguments for your cases, research statutes. But that's really the only thing that applies, I think, from law school to actual practice, because law school teaches you and prepares you to pass tests. It
Right.
doesn't necessarily prepare you to become an attorney, and definitely don't prepare you to have your own law firm at all.
Okay.
Actually, the opposite. Law school breeds employees. It
Okay.
breeds employees.
Okay.
So I kind of went against the grain, saying, "Look, as soon as I pass the bar, I'm starting my own firm." Like that's definitely not the norm.
And
But
how
I've
hard?
all
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, but I've never I've always ran my own race. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you did. You always had your thing going, man. Whatever it was, like you would do it. You were doing it, like doing it. You weren't just playing around with it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
you got to be a doer, man.
yeah, for
Gotta be a
sure.
doer.
And what does starting your own law firm look like? Like, how do you even go about that? Because
Whole
most
lot
people
of
will
risk.
work towards being partner, not starting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So what does that look like?
yeah. It's a big risk. It's a big risk. You gotta, because it's different. Like, and it's not that I wouldn't have wanted to possibly partner, or I just knew. First of all, I went to law school in my 30s, so I was already a grown man. So it was like going and coming out to practice law and getting a job in your 30s. Not saying you can't do it, but it's like your boss is probably gonna be younger than you.
Yeah.
And what is that dynamic like, as far as is that a good environment for me per se? So
Right.
I always looked at it like, yeah, I'm gonna just have to get it out of the mud and do my own thing. But at the same time, like, I commend those people who do go that route, because look, at the end of the day, man, we are just trying to be successful, and put ourselves in position to take care of our family. So
Absolutely.
I don't knock anyone that decide they want to go get a job. Actually, that's great. Come work for me. Um,
Right.
hey,
Right.
um,
For real.
yeah, because look, this entrepreneur side, it ain't sweet, and it's not for everyone. You gotta, like, to know you're responsible for bringing in the business, nurturing the business, hiring the staff, growing the staff,
Right.
developing the staff. Like, that's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot, and that's not for everybody.
It's not
Um,
for everybody, and people. I've talked about this before. Like, people need to know that. And you look at social media, that's all that people are
yeah,
praising. chasing
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, start
Everybody,
your LLC, start a business, but no one's saying what business, or no one's saying do you know how to run a business?
yeah, no one's even asking the question, is this for you?
Right.
Because the people that are preaching that, they making money off of the people who are inquiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
telling them like, hey, you don't really have to do this.
Right.
If you like being an employee and a worker, go to work, come home and have a peace of mind, that it too is okay. But they
That's
don't.
fine.
It's not
Yeah.
packaged like that. You know what I'm saying? They try
Nah.
to make you feel a certain way if you're not out there getting your LLC,
Yeah.
doing your own
Yeah,
thing.
you gotta be the boss. Be the boss. You
Nah.
ain't real if you ain't the boss.
Everybody's
Man,
not built like
scrap
that.
all that. Scrap all that. Because look, at the end of the day, man, like it's tough to have that weight on your shoulders of making sure something doesn't fail.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you're not built like that where you can handle that burden, and not just handle it, but like push through it and
Push
like
through it
yeah, like every day.
every day.
Every day.
Be
Because look,
successful.
yeah,
Because you might be living in turmoil and agony and depression trying to keep that thing afloat because
Come
you're
on,
not
man.
built like that.
Yeah.
So
And
you have a better life. Just go and get the 9 to 5,
go
get
get
a
the
high
job.
salary, and live a good
Yeah.
life.
Live a good life, not have to worry about it. Don't force yourself into a situation you can't handle.
Right.
And like it's funny saying that because I kind of forced myself in a situation that it was possibly I wasn't going to be able to handle. But
that's you though.
yeah, I went into it fearlessly.
That's always
Where it
been
was like it ain't. There's no other option.
right.
So failing wasn't. And I think you got to be the type of person that's fine with failing, because otherwise you'll worry yourself to death being in fear of failing.
Yep.
So for me, man, I done started over 10 times over, it seems. I ain't never been scared to start over. So
for sure.
failing was never a fear. It was just, okay, yeah, I'm cognizant, I'm aware that failure can happen. But I'm not thinking about that today. I'm thinking about how to get to the next step, how to get to the next level, how to push forward, how to change my family life, change my family's trajectory.
Right.
All I was thinking.
In a funny type of way. Tell me if you think this way too. In a funny type of way, that failure and having to start over is kind of like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
because
man.
now it's like, all right, I get to reset, and now I get to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try to go tackle this and figure out this. Like, it's always like when you have to figure it out, it's like, man, it's a challenge, but you're up for the challenge, and it's an adrenaline rush. It really is. Because now it's almost because people like you and I, it's like, I'm not going to allow myself to beat myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're going to figure it out, and it's a challenge, but you welcome the challenge.
Yeah, man. It's like that saying where it's like I think somebody said it in reference to Kobe Bryant, and it was like you miss every shot you don't take.
Yep.
And like I kind of live my life that way, where it's like, man, I'd hate to have that regret where it's like, man, you didn't even try.
Right.
You didn't even try. Or if you did try, you didn't give it 100% because you were too busy worried about failing.
Yep.
You know how many people I met in my life, man, that like they can't get out their own way, where it's like they might be the smartest, most talented, sharpest, all of that. But like literally they haven't progressed in areas of life because they can't get out of their own head. It's like you're always waiting on the perfect time to start.
Right.
But the joke is, it's never a perfect time.
Never a perfect time, man.
You just gotta start.
You grow as you go.
Yeah, you just gotta do it. You gotta start. Now, not saying it ends with starting, because it doesn't. Because after starting, you gotta execute.
Yeah.
But people never even get to the execution stage, man, because they never start.
I know.
And that's unfortunate, man. Thank God I was never that kind of person. Like I always viewed, I don't know, I just always had confidence that I could do whatever I wanted to do, even though it was challenges along the way. But I wasn't never scared of spilling milk. You spill some milk, clean it up, go get some more milk.
And then you had the faith to know that it was gonna work out though. Some people don't even have the faith.
Man, yeah, man. Faith is
You know what I mean?
everything, man.
Yeah, you
Faith is
gotta
everything.
know. You gotta know when you're in the middle of it and you don't even know how, when, what, where.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know it's gonna work out. You're at ease.
Yeah, keep
You're at
going.
ease. Nobody even knows that you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Wild part. That's the wild part. When one of my mentees not long ago was asking me that, like, how did you know you were gonna pass the bar and have your own law firm? And it was like, I never thought about that not being an option.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I didn't pass the bar the first time I took it. But even with that failure, I never thought it can't happen.
Right.
It was more so, okay, what do I need to reset to get in line to make the next time my time?
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's kind of like looking back, it's like I've always lived my life that way, where it was like, man, we can figure it out, man. You just got to keep trying, keep chopping wood. Shout out to Kirby Smart. Like
Yep.
Kirby say that all the time, man. UGA football, man, just keep chopping wood. Keep
Yep.
chopping wood. Now, obviously, you got to plan, strategize, and do all of those things to put yourself in position. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep going.
Keep going, man. That's it, brother.
Mhm.
That's it. And so many people don't. They don't. And a lot of like you said, a fear of failure. And then there's some people that are scared of success at the same time. They're scared of success.
Especially in our community. Like, bro, that's the biggest misconception. Like, people say, oh, money can't give you happiness, and oh, you shouldn't always do it for the money, and money shouldn't guide you. Look, man, money don't guide me. But on the first of every month, my mortgage comes. On the first of every month, my car note comes.
Yep. So you got to get it.
At the end of the day, man, we need money to survive. And I hate how our people like have convoluted and like misconstrued like success and having finances.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's dirty.
Yeah. Success and the pursuit, I'll say the pursuit of being able and capable of providing for your family. And then if you're able to do for your family at a exceptional level, they look down on that like, oh,
which is so strange to me.
But you know what? If you could do that for yours, you would do the same.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, brother. We have to stop looking at the other complexion saying, oh, they only help them, they only help each other, this, and that, and the third, blah, 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 blase. But what would it look like if we took it upon ourselves to help each other like they do, like the Asians do, like the Hispanics do?
Man, it's funny.
We'd be so powerful, bro. But we
don't
do that.
Bro, I've always been, like, envious isn't the word, but I've always admired that about other races.
Yeah.
How they put themselves and their people first.
Yeah. They don't climb up the ladder and pull it up behind them, bro. We do. A lot of us do.
And I don't say that to say they put themselves first and they don't help others, because there's plenty of people on every side of the spectrum of race that help other races. But just at the baseline, at the core, you mentioned Asian people. Bro, Asian people look out for Asians first.
Man.
Hispanic people look out for Hispanics first. White people look out for white people first.
Yeah. They pull each other up.
We got to do the same, man.
We do. We really do.
And obviously, it's all history and all of that, Willie Lynch, slavery. It's all kind of reasons, like it's a plethora of reasons why our people aren't as unified as we need to be. But eventually, somebody in that line has to break that chain, man.
Somebody got to break that chain.
And start helping. Like, if it starts with your immediate family to your, friends around you from your immediate family, like, eventually we have to start putting our people in position, man, and like being okay with that. Right. And I think it really starts with that thought of how we view success and the pursuit of success, and not trying to make our own people feel bad for attaining success.
Right.
Like, I've had people say, "Oh man, such and such got all that money, they should just give it away." And I'm like, clearly you ain't never worked. You ain't never worked to make something happen.
Yeah, they work
Because
hard for that, man.
yeah, you don't just give anything away. Like, and social media is terrible about that. You'll see these people in the comments. "Oh man, Bill Gates should give all of his money away. Warren Buffett should give all his money away." And I'm sitting here like, would you?
Would you? Exactly. You wouldn't. Because here's two sides of our story. You said, Willie Lynch, slavery, and all this stuff that kind of like contributes to our mentality of how we act when we have a little something or we don't have something, right? So if we get it, it's like, no, you can't have none because I never had this.
Yeah.
That's one side of it. And then the other side of it is when somebody else has it, now they're trying to do whatever they can to get in their pockets.
Yeah, to take
so
it.
That just perpetuates the whole mentality of, no, you can't have this because now I can't trust you. You're not going to do right by me because you only want what I got. And then a lot of times, and here's the thing, somebody said this the other day, people don't want what you give them. So say you're helping your people out. A lot of them don't want what you give them. They want what you got. But you didn't work for what I got, but I'm still willing to give you some of what I got, and I can show you how to go get it. But some of them don't even want that. They just want what you got. They're envious of what you have.
That's
whether it be the material possessions, the finances, the fame, the position you're in. They want that. They don't want what you give them.
Bro, you dropping some gems right there. Yeah, man. Like, and look, I guess it was different for me because I was, growing up, like, don't give me the fish. Teach me how to fish. Show me how to fish. I don't need what you have per se, but show me how to get what you have. You don't have to give me yours, but show me how to get it.
Yeah. And if you give me yours and you don't show me how to get it, it's gonna run out.
Yeah.
And run it right back, or I'm sitting there 8 out like, what now? Show me how to get it, man.
Yeah, I was watching the podcast the other day, the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, two former NBA players. And Steven Jackson was like, all of us, like he was commending LeBron James for how him and his boys like basically became an incredibly successful businessman. And Steven Jackson was like, we all messed up, referring to all other players because, people try to bring their homeboys along. But like the crux of it was what you just said. They brought their homeboys around and they gave them things.
Yep.
As opposed to like LeBron put his homeboys in place to win.
Yes.
And they all are like successful in their own right at this point. Rich Paul, probably the biggest sports agent out. Maverick Carter, probably one of the leading businessmen out. Like that didn't happen by accident. Like them boys put in a whole lot of, and I'm not even the biggest crazy LeBron fan like that, but like you can see that and you can commend that and salute that because like what Steven Jackson said was right. A lot of us get in position and the people around us just want us to give them things. Like, give me money, give me a position instead of, hey man, show me how to run your day to day.
Right.
Help me get in position to be director of operations,
right,
or marketing, something where it's like you can add value to the situation and you can also broaden your own horizons individually, and use that as a stepping stone to become Rich Paul and be the biggest sports agent in the country. And obviously, it helps because his biggest client is LeBron James.
Right.
But look how many clients he has beyond LeBron James at this point. You look at his previous NBA draft, man. Rich probably had his 60 picks get picked. I think Rich might have been responsible for like 25 of them. That's crazy.
That is
when you think about it.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's one agency.
Like Drew Rosenhaus?
Drew Rosenhaus on the football side.
Yeah.
And think about it, Drew was only doing it one or two guys at a time, 3 or 4 at a time. Like Rich like got 24 guys in one draft, man. And mind you, the NBA draft is only 2 rounds. it's only 60 guys getting picked.
Dang, I didn't even realize that because I don't even watch ball like that. It's only 60
Yeah,
guys
60
picked
guys
the NBA
getting
draft.
picked. Yeah, it's like football. It's like 800 almost 700.
I see why so many people playing overseas, playing here.
Yeah, bruh.
Really,
It's
the
slim
opportunity
pickings.
is slim.
Yeah, it's only 450 active contracts.
God.
And on top of being a attorney, like I'm a sports agent, so I represent a couple guys in the league right now. Shout out to Isaac Okoro, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Sharif Cooper. But yeah, like it's only 450 jobs in the league. So think about the odds
Damn.
of making that, like actually making the league. Like,
Right.
bro, it's literally like hitting the lottery.
It really is.
It's like hitting the lottery. You got
And now I
hundreds of
see why
millions
it's so
of people.
big overseas. Like all these
Yeah.
European, Korean teams, China teams.
Yeah. That's why
Dang.
the G League. That's why the G League got a chance.
Yeah.
Because like it's definitely, if it's the NBA is like the best 450 players in the world, the best.
Right.
But like, that means there has to be at least another 1,000 that's like at that level
Really
or close.
Right. That can really
So,
entertain you. Really do their
Yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
so the NBA has a great opportunity to expand and build and grow the G League and make it more than just a feeder league for the league for the NBA. Now,
Right.
do they wanna build and grow it and make it more than just a feeder league for the NBA? That's the question.
They should though. I mean, look. I mean, XFL, USFL. That's kind of taking off, and
Yeah.
it is kind of a feeder, but they're still doing their own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are actually following it.
Yeah, I think the difference is it's almost like the NBA would be like simultaneously creating their own competition. And I don't know if they want to do that.
True.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to do that. But it's still a great opportunity, man. Like, at the end of the day, kids, like players just need a chance to play sometimes.
Right.
You look at this past NBA season, man, and Miami Heat had 4 undrafted guys on their roster, 3 of which started. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
But clearly, those guys shouldn't have went undrafted. That's first.
It's
And
just,
second,
go ahead.
like
Go ahead.
they it's like going back to what I said earlier. They kept going.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they started, it didn't work out, but they kept going. They didn't just, give up and be like, "Oh, I didn't get drafted, man. That's it for me." Like,
I mean, at the end of the
nah.
day, it's probably just a fine line of who's getting picked, unless you're just astronomical, like
Yeah.
girl like LeBron,
And it is. And
undeniable.
it is. Yeah.
So it's
it
like
is, but
everybody's
Yeah.
not gonna go. It's really slim. The opportunities are slim, and you
Yeah.
could be great. You might have been better, but that dude just fit their style of play, their system better.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I've had those conversations with GMs, man, with scouts, and like they've liked plenty guys that they probably just didn't draft. And it's a lot of reasons why. A lot of political reasons, a lot of other reasons, but at the end of the day, man, what it really, really be boiling down to is just not enough spots.
Yeah.
So you gonna factor in that people are gonna do favors for their friends and family, you know what I'm saying, or
Absolutely.
people they came up with. Like that's the nature of the game. Like that's in every aspect of business.
Business. I was about to say that's just nature.
Yeah.
Business. You're gonna do for
nature
who
of
you
it.
like and who
You know
you
what I'm
care for.
saying? Yeah, like look how far me and you go back. Like this, this interview is happening now, not necessarily because we know each other, not just because we know each other, but like we got a mutual respect for each other. And
Right.
and that it's something about building a rapport with somebody like in the trenches.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So obviously, like you know what a person, like how they're built, how they cut. So
Right.
if you get in a position where you can look out for somebody, who you gonna look out for?
The ones that was there in the trenches with you.
Yeah. So it's the same
That's
thing.
it.
So I never fought people for that. Like you see people getting upset, oh, nepotism, and oh, they just looking out for their friends. Bro, they supposed to.
They're supposed to. They were there when you had no idea who they were. When them boys
Yeah.
was assed
key-
out, broke.
the
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The key is to put yourself in position so you can do the same. And your people have to be ready for that moment.
Yeah.
They got to be ready for that moment. They can't just get it just because.
Right.
they know you. Like they really got to be able to like seize that opportunity and grab it and
And you know
turn it.
what too? You know what too? Another thing is when you're looking out for your people, you really gotta vet them and find out what they're really good at and what they're really
Yeah,
passionate about. Because you
yeah,
gotta put them in a place within your organization or wherever you're trying to catapult them to, in a place to where they're gonna be fulfilling their passion. If you're just giving them a job,
yeah,
that's when things hit the fan and you like, yo, you're not performing the way you need to be performing. You know
yeah,
why? Because they're not doing what they're passionate about. They're just doing a
yeah,
job for the money and because they're running with you.
yeah. And some of that is communication too and being transparent.
Absolutely.
Look, I got plenty homeboys, especially since I started my law firm, man. That they'll reach out to me and they'll say, "Hey, like, how can I?" Not necessarily how can they work for me, but like they'll say, like, "Hey, how can you put me on?" And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like, what is it that you do? You know,
Right.
because a law firm is real. It's definitely skill set oriented.
For
So
sure.
you got to be able, like, what you a paralegal, you a case manager, you want to go to law school, you want a clerk, you're trying to intern, so you can see that aspect, or you
Right.
just saying put you on, like, help you get some money. Like
Right.
the law firm ain't a place for that. Like,
What they
because
really,
look,
what a lot of them want is just put me on that payroll. Let me do
yeah,
something.
man, and we
But
ain't
it's
doing
like,
that.
no, you gotta have a skill set. I can't just let you
Yeah,
do
you
something
gotta
because
have a
it's not
skill
gonna get
set.
done right.
Yeah, you got to be able to handle, work with clients and deal with clients and move cases along, bring cases in.
Right.
It's not as simple, or even on the sports agent side, man. Because me being a sports agent too, people hit me like, "Hey, man, give me tickets to the game and stuff like that." I love when they say that because that's cool. We can get you some tickets, keep it moving. But it's like, "Hey, man, how can I meet LeBron?" And it's like, "Bro, I ain't even met LeBron. Like, how I'm gonna help you meet LeBron? I've never met LeBron."
Right.
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, but it's all
That's
good, man.
crazy.
It comes with it, man. It comes with it.
Hey man, well I'm proud of you, brother. I'm telling you firsthand right here. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
I know where you came from. Like you said, I saw you in the trenches. Always admired your work ethic though. You knew that.
it. Oh, man, proud of you too, man. Like we was like out here trying to figure this music thing out. Um,
Yep.
and what circa '05, '06, '07, '08, man, out here in Atlanta where like looking back hard, it's like it's crazy because like we literally watched Atlanta not only just take over the music industry, like, but like obliterate everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was crazy in the middle of it all because yeah, we saw it coming, and me being originally from the South, man, South Georgia. Obviously, it was a prideful thing where it was like, yeah, man, Atlanta running the game. But like when you really, really thought about it, like, man, you go back and look at them Billboard lists, man, it was crazy how many acts that was running in our circles,
Yes.
like really pushed through and like
Yeah.
dominated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Crazy.
yeah,
It's so
man.
crazy, man. Just like even like with us out performing, me and your brother performing and stuff, and like how many people are out there now that we share the stage with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Opening night
yeah.
showcases and all that. It's crazy. Lotto, all of them. I remember Lotto
Lotto.
as a little girl and her pops had her in the clubs.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Chloe and Haley Bailey. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I could have got them signed at Atlantic, bro. You talk about how that would have changed my life. But
Yeah.
Chloe and Haley Bailey was running around in those circles as unsigned artists back at that time. And think about it, but it was like 8 and 11 years old.
I know.
Like, and people really get it misconstrued
No.
when they look at their like success now. Obviously, it's a little different. It's a little different for me because look, I see them. I'm like, man, I remember when they was like babies, like literally little kids out here
Yeah.
doing showcases, and they like adults now, and people view Chloe as like a sex symbol and all of this stuff, and it's wild.
It
But at the
is.
same time, yeah, it's wild. But at the same time, like, I saw the grind, and like her parents, their parents was like
Yeah.
right there, and they had that forward thinking to see that their kids were like bigger than just their kids.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
They definitely
you
had
know,
it. You knew they were gonna be somebody.
yeah,
Do it.
it was like, yo, I
They
can't
was
believe they don't have a record deal yet.
they
Like,
were
it's
singing like
crazy.
grown
Like,
women. They were singing
seems
like
like,
grown women.
and they were like a 2-woman band.
Right.
Played all the instruments, produced all their music, recorded all their music, wrote all their music at like
Yes.
8 and 11.
Yeah.
So like, no, I'm not surprised to see them successful now. Like, situation like that, man, when you're that talented, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stay on path and keep going and push through the failures and make it happen, or are you gonna like fall to the wayside? And
Right.
clearly they were determined to keep it going. But yeah, man, like, it's so many acts when I look back that was running around in the same showcases and doing the same events and performing at the same festivals.
Yes.
And
Many.
like a who's who list.
Yeah. It's
You
crazy.
know what I'm saying?
I just see him and I just be like, wow, okay, cool, good. You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta was a special place at that time. It's still special.
Yeah.
But like back then, man, like it was, boy.
A lot of the giants in the game right now were running around trying to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you
man, I
could
remember
feel it though.
Jeezy
The
when he
energy
was
was
Lil
crazy.
J.
Huh?
I remember Jeezy when he was Lil J.
Damn, I don't remember that.
Yeah, man. Come shop with me, CD. He was giving them things away at birthday bash and stuff, man. Like, the raps clearly wasn't as good as they are now. Or as good as they were once he popped off. But yeah, man, like that's, 02, 03.
I remember
man.
Gucci when he was with Big Cat. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the day Big Cat
who
signed Gucci, man.
And who would have thought that Gucci that signed with Big Cat would have ended up being, the Gucci as we see it today. Like,
Yeah.
man, that man that has so many, like he's transformed himself.
Yeah.
Salute to Gooch.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. There was so much talent back then. So I mean, even Titty Boy, 2 Chainz, he's running with Luda, but he was still kind of like on a local level because
on the local level, he was out here too.
Huh?
Yeah, because he was out here too. He was trying to, get the solo thing going. And I'm not that Luda and them didn't believe, but it just hadn't happened yet. And he didn't wait around for them to believe. Like, he was like, nah.
Bro, I remember 2 Chainz sitting up in a club that I did a showcase at in, God dang, over there by what's it called? Briar, the mall.
Oh, Greenbrier Mall.
Greenbrier Mall. It was over there, Camp Creek area, bro.
Yeah.
And it was a showcase, and he was just in there chilling, sitting at a table. He came on his box Chevy. He was sitting at a table. I think he had some CDs, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trying to get on, trying to do his solo thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And think about that. Luda was his man. Luda was his man, and he was at those kind of, like, artists used to ask us, "Oh, do we really need to be out here?" 2 Chainz out here.
Right.
He out here. If he out here, of course you need to be. Actually, you need to be more places.
Right.
Yeah. For real. Because he got more opportunities than you, and he's still out here on the grind.
He's still out here on the grind, man. Yeah, those are some crazy times, brother. Some good times too. Some good times.
Yeah, man. Great times, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about this reality show, brother. How in the hell did you end up on a reality show looking for love? What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Crazy situation, man. Like one of my clients reached out to me, and like it was cool with the casting director.
Okay.
And they needed another male. And the casting director, we had already obviously talked because one of my clients is on the show. I ain't gonna say which one.
Okay.
But attorney-client privilege.
For sure.
But the casting director reached out and we talked. And initially I declined. I was like, yeah, that ain't really my thing. I was like, nah, like I'm more so suited behind the camera. Like I wasn't necessarily trying to be on the camera.
Right.
And situations with the show, production wise, COVID and everything, because this all was happening like tail end of COVID.
Okay.
Even though the show just now coming out. So yeah, man, initially declined, and so they circled back and had the conversation again, and then I started looking at it from an entrepreneur standpoint. It was like, well, you got your own law firm.
Right.
It will be on TV.
Right.
Um, you know,
Free advertisement.
yeah, free advertisement, man. So I was like, you know what? I give it a try. You know, it'll worst case scenario, it'll be an experience. Best case scenario, I get 1,000 new cases.
Right. Right.
So you can't lose. But yeah, so it just kind of fell in my lap. Salute, hey man, shout out to Kirk and Tammy, everybody over there at TV1. Kirk Franklin, Tammy Franklin, the whole crew and staff, the whole production team that put the show together. Because man, when I tell you, like, I was so in awe when I got on set and I saw how many brown and black people was like behind the
on that
scenes.
camera, right?
Yeah, that was impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like how we were talking about earlier about putting our people on. Like, obviously, like, the production team, they're professionals and they're gonna work with the best. But it was impressive to see that the best was people that look just like me and you, man.
Yeah.
So salute to them, man. Salute to everybody on the team, on the production team for the one. But yeah, it just kind of fell in my lap, man. And it was one of those situations where it was a win-win. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. And but at the same time, I'm still an attorney first. And right. I knew it was certain things that I was not gonna do on TV.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I had to have those conversations in the beginning and kind of let that be known, because look, at the end of the day, it's a Brunson Grant law firm and I'm the Brunson Grant. So I can't put a negative imagery out here or put, ghetto ratchet stuff. Like, we ain't doing all that. And rightfully so, the show's produced by Kirk Franklin and Tammy Franklin. So that was understood from the beginning, because they wanted the show to highlight Black excellence first and foremost.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I didn't get any of that. I've watched all the episodes, and it's
but the producers still gonna be producers.
Yeah,
and they still gonna come every now and then and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I was like, negative.
Nope.
Not
ain't do it. Did it take you out your comfort zone at any time? Did you?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Because me being on the backside, man, managing artists, being an A&R, even being an attorney representing clients, like, I've always been behind the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Behind the girl. Representing the guy, representing the girl. It was never, okay, all the cameras on me. So yeah, that definitely took me out of my comfort zone. But at the same time, it also like, I learned some things about myself that I didn't necessarily know. I didn't realize how comfortable I'd be, like, on camera, and I guess that kind of goes to, it probably shouldn't have surprised me, because I'm very like, I have confidence in myself, but it's also a situation where, like, I don't mind calling a spade a spade. And you kind of got to do that. Man, look, man, you out here entertainment, acting, been on stage, how long, man? 20 years doing entertainment. Like, that being your unapologetic self in those moments kind of make the nervousness and shyness go away. Because you ain't out here faking and fronting.
Right. You ain't trying to put off somebody. It is what it is. It's what it is.
Yep. It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, man. So check out the one every Thursday at 9 on TV1.
Yes.
Your boy.
I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. This the first episode when you meet Ashley. She's vetting you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and play that so they can get a little taste of what you experienced, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about it. I want to know. I'll ask you when we come back. We're gonna check you out, man. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Ashley,
man. I was telling Richie, I interviewed her last week. I was telling her that I kind of run in the same circle as Ashley, because she's an actress and all that. So I was following her before, and then I saw her on the show. I was like, oh wow, okay. And then boom, Richie, and then boom, saw you. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, crazy, right? How many people on the show at this point?
Right.
And that's the one thing about especially reality TV, especially something like a dating show, man. Like it's kind of hard to like have chemistry with somebody you just met 5 minutes ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And knowing, look, man, I get it. It's a dating show. It's a competition, but it's like I'm not gonna be that pick me guy, like going and doing stuff outside of my character just for TV.
Yeah.
Because everybody, my friends and family will see and be like, "Who is that?" Like
exactly.
and like you just doing that for TV. So like I wasn't gonna do that at all. Yeah. But at the same time, man, I feel like it was a cool experience. Me and Ashley had more so of a, like homegirl, homeboy type vibe. And I'm cool with that. Like I wasn't physically making anything more. Right. I didn't force anything just for TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Be organic, let it flow.
Yeah. Be organic. Yeah. Like if we met outside of that TV show, like would I go outside of my way to try to holler at her? Probably not, because we had more of a like a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like we can kick it. Like she give me my homegirl. But
now, so can I ask you this? Were you actually looking for love, or you just kind of did the show because they needed somebody and you were like, it's an opportunity? Did you consider it? Evidently I'm pretty sure you're single if you're on the show. So were you actually looking, or was it like, I'll give it a try, maybe something will happen, if not, it was a cool experience?
Yeah, worst case scenario, was a cool experience. Like, and I wouldn't say necessarily looking for love. Maybe that's not the phrase. But yeah, I'm single, and look, with everything, the way my life is set up, like everything is lined up. Firm happening,
right?
Career's going well. Obviously, that next piece would be a life partner to like build with and grow with. And get like my good brother card, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. So obviously, I definitely want that. That's definitely the goal.
Okay.
Did I go into it thinking that was gonna happen with a TV show? Probably not. Probably not. I ain't even gonna lie to you and tell you I went into it thinking that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, like I didn't like the way they did the show. Like me and Ashley hadn't seen each other before that meeting, before that clip that you just showed. Like that was literally my first time even seeing her.
Wow. Ever. Okay. Yeah.
So the production, they did a good job with that from that aspect, where it wasn't like, we kind of know who it is beforehand, so we kind of go into it with preconceived notions. Like that was literally my first time ever seeing
putting on. Yeah, you weren't putting on.
Yeah. So by all means, that's definitely the goal. But I'm not even gonna lie and say I went into that show thinking I was gonna find the one.
Okay.
Hey man, it's still Atlanta. Still Atlanta.
Right. Enough said. What was the vibe?
Leave that there.
Huh?
We'll just leave that there. It's still
Atlanta. We're gonna leave that there. We know what it is. It's still Atlanta. What was the vibe like in the mansion though? What was that vibe like? Was it cool? Was it everybody cool? Or is it, because I know you say they wanted to keep it classy. They wanted to keep black excellence.
Man. Look, man, the mansion was cool, but I ain't even gonna front. It popped off like first day. Like I was like, this cats here really trying to be on TV.
Yeah. Okay.
First day. And
Cass was in there acting.
Bro, I'm sure if you watched this past week's episode, like, come on, man, ain't no way. Yeah, man, dudes was going. Yeah, they was getting out of character.
Yeah,
I will say. But as a whole, shout out to my boy Brian, man. Me and Brian were in the same area, same room, because the mansion was huge. Like,
okay,
it was huge, man, and me and him kind of clicked right away, man. And that's the tall brother with the dreads and the big beard.
Okay.
Brian Allen. Shout out to Brian.
It's crazy because he kind of favors you too.
Yeah, man. So many people say that when they watch the show. They're like, bro, if you had dreads and a big beard, you and Brian are looking alike.
Yo, because listen, when I first saw you, like, right, I saw the trailer, and like you were like the last shot, but then I was like, yo, was that Donté? So I went back and I watched it. Then I saw the dude with the dress, and I was like, oh, maybe I saw him, and he just kind of looked like Donté.
Yeah.
Then they showed you again. I was like, oh shoot, okay. So yeah, I thought dude was you.
Yeah, and the way they chopped up the editing, it was good because like I literally was one of the last people to get casted on it, and they presented it that way too. But yeah, Brian a cool dude, man, and he out here doing well, running his own business. Salute to that boy, man. Brian a cool dude. But me and him, we probably were the only two people on the show who like didn't have aspirations of being in entertainment or being an actor, like for as far as the males go.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, everybody else, man, was trying to get their acting on.
yeah. If that's what they desire, of course they're gonna do a little extra.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Right. They're gonna do a little extra, put a little extra with it, because maybe it'll bring other opportunities.
Yeah, and I ain't knocking the hustle.
Exactly.
Like at the rap show, me and one of the producers came up to me. He was like, "Donté, we was thinking about it, and we was like, yo, you probably the only dude on the show who like are already in your space career-wise doing everything you want to do right now." And I had to think about it. I was like, dang, man, that's crazy. I didn't even look at it like that. But I say all that to say, like, I never knock anybody's hustle. Like, I want all of us to win. I want everybody to find love if that's what they're looking for, whatever the case may be. But I just knew my heart of hearts, man, like, certain things that I just wasn't gonna do.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And people probably hear that and be like, why you went on a TV show if you wasn't going to do X, Y, Z? But look, man, I still have
with experience.
Exactly.
For the advertisement.
For the experience. Like
at the end of the day, everybody's on there for the advertisement. If you're trying to be an actor, whatever you're trying to do in entertainment, it's still advertisement for your talent. So why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Why not, man? So it was a cool experience, though, man. Shout out to TVOne. Shout out to the one, and my boy, Brent, the male bachelor, and the homie Ashley on the female side. And y'all check it out on TVOne when y'all get a chance. 9 p.m. Thursday.
Brent seemed like a cool dude. He seemed like he was cool.
Yeah, Brent cool, man.
I'm gonna keep checking it out, man. I'm gonna check it out, support you.
For sure. So, hey, it's crazy. I'm like, look, sitting here on TV, and it's like I've always been like the guy behind the scenes. It's still crazy when I think about it. I'm like, man, damn, what you doing on TV, man?
That's why when I saw you, I was like, Donté? Like, what's he doing on here?
And we had to sign NDAs and all of that, so I ain't really tell all my friends and stuff. Like, I think I told my family like maybe the week before the show aired, because when I'm telling you, it kept getting pushed back as far as when it was gonna come out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really tell a lot of people. And then when it's like all of a sudden I'm posting like clips and like, hey, check out the one. People like, wait, you on the show? Or you represented a person on the show? I was like, well, both.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. But hey, like you said, man, opportunity. Why not, man? Take it. Don't block your blessings. You never know what's in that silver lining.
For sure.
Maybe that whole experience wasn't for you, but
it
was for a reason. It was for a purpose, though. So for
sure, like I can see myself producing some stuff, man. Like I got some stuff in the works now that I'm trying to work on. We actually need to talk, after this. But some things in the works. Not with me necessarily being in front of the screen anymore, but definitely like producing something and trying to put a show together.
Okay.
But that's in the works.
All right, yeah. Holla at me. You know what I do. You know my forte.
Cardi Dark.
Did anybody know you about De Niro?
Man, De Niro Jones still out here, baby. De Niro Jones. Man, it's crazy, man.
Black Squad.
A few people, man, still every now and then be like, wait, De Niro wasn't your real name?
Right.
Jones either? Like, why you had a stage name? But it was like, I don't know, man. I always went into it like being in music, man. When I think about like a lot of the execs that I looked up to, like, Puff Daddy went by P Diddy, Puff Daddy, but his name was Sean Combs. So I always went into it like, yo, I need a stage name too, even if I'm not necessarily gonna be on stage,
Yeah,
because we all
gotta have
selling something.
right.
Yeah,
Your character.
yeah, we all selling
Yeah,
something with and what and I don't know, man. Birdman, like I look at cats like that, but even though those guys ended up being artists too, but just in general, De Niro Jones just kind of came about because, like, I always was like, had the entrepreneurial spirit, and was gonna figure out a way to get to the bag. So
yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, play off the word De Niro, and then the Jones was all right. What I'm not trying to do is keep up with the Joneses.
right.
Like I'm
Yeah,
trying to run my own race.
yeah.
So De Niro Jones just kind of came about, and I was like, yo, she got a ring to it.
Yep. Yeah,
Yo, for a while, that was my handle on social media. Like, I think up until I went to, maybe once I started law school, I changed it from De Niro Jones. Like, that would have been like 2015, 2016.
okay.
But people was like, wait, Donté messaged me like, who is Donté? Like, is Donté and De Niro the same person? Crazy.
Yeah. Hey man, transformation though, brother.
Transformation, man.
Oh, it is, man.
Shout out to God and shout out to growth and prosperity. Growth and prosperity, man. That's the name of the game.
Yes, indeed, man. Shout out to just being wiser and knowing better too.
Boy, who you telling, Card? Who you telling? Wiser
Really?
and knowing better. Sheesh.
Man, I'm telling
That's
you.
another bar.
Wiser and knowing better, brother. You know, and knowing yourself and knowing what's for you at the end of the day, man. Because a lot of people out here chasing stuff that's really not for them. It just looks good, and they look for a quick lick.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors.
You, man.
Yeah, chasing that facade of, what they see on social media, not even realizing, man, most of that stuff on social media ain't real.
Not real, man.
I tell even me and a few of my homeboys had a conversation a few weeks ago. Like, look, man, people gonna show you the wins on social media. They just showing you the wins.
That's it.
So, how long did it take, or what did it take for them to get that win?
Right.
Like, that's the part of it you're not seeing.
Right.
But please believe that part is there. Like, it's a journey to get to any and everything. Like you just mentioned, a lot of cats having success now as guys we saw run around in the same circles we was in, and look how long ago that was.
Right.
So
very, very long.
Yeah. When you think about, like, success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Like, you literally have to, like, fail to succeed.
Yeah.
And keep trying to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people we look at and think, like you just mentioned, Lotto out here as a kid trying to get on, like, bro, that's over a decade. For Lotto, about 24, 25 now?
Yeah. Decade.
Yeah, Chloe and Haley Bailey, 8, 11 years old. Like, it didn't happen for them until they was in their, like, mid-teens to early 20s for Chloe. And that's still very young when you think about it.
And then they didn't even break. They were signed, releasing albums. They didn't break out then either.
Nah, they didn't break out.
They just broke out.
It's a long process.
Past couple years, they just broke out. Like, they're just now finding themselves. Like,
yep.
You know what I mean? One is doing exceptionally well with music. The other one's tapped into more acting.
Yep.
Not to say she's not going to hop back in the music thing, but they're finding their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She gonna double back too. Haley gonna double back because Little Mermaid putting her in front of a whole audience that she never thought she'd be in front of,
right?
Or at least not this early,
right? Changes the demographic for sure.
Completely flip the demographic on its head.
Right.
Like, this is a whole nother demographic now, and then internationally, like, what that film is doing, like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, man. I love to see it because at the end of the day, perseverance is it's not spoken about enough.
Nah.
Like, just continuing.
Because everybody wants it now.
Everybody want it right now. Not even realizing how long it takes for it to happen. Yeah.
Bro, that's like one of the number one reasons for depression right now, man. These kids think they're happy right now and they don't happy, then they get depressed.
Get depressed and feel feel worthless. And look, shout out to anybody going through depression, because that ain't nothing to laugh at or play with. But like you, it's a brighter day, and I just want people to just stop trying to keep up with other people and realize, man, there's nothing wrong with it, with things not happening right away for you. At the end of the day, man, look, I say all the time, is not necessarily, obviously we all have to plan and prepare and strategize and all of that, but at the end of the day, man, we all got to run our own race and realize God's timing is the best timing.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And that might not mean the same for everybody. For me, it means, like, I look back at, like, I joke when I say, man, I feel like I done had 4 or 5 lives. But literally everything that has happened, or everything that I went through up until this point, has kind of shaped me into the person I am today, the man I am today, the attorney I am today.
Right.
Like all of those experiences, like almost like dumping all those experiences into like a melting pot and seeing what's sprouted up from that.
Right.
Because again, I went to law school in my 30s, man. Like, I was grown. And
yeah.
even then, so many of my friends were like, bro, what you doing going to law school? You 31 years old. That's crazy. Like, you ain't gonna make it.
Following your passion.
Following my passion, man. I was like, nah, this is it. Like, I didn't, or when I went to the Army, they're like, wait, you going to the Army? But it was like, when I had my son, bro, I had to hit the reset button.
Yeah, you had a plan.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, yeah, you can do enough out here to survive for Donté, but like now you got a whole human being to like be responsible for and to support.
Yeah. How long were you in the military for?
Bro, I did 1 contract, 4 years. Really ended up being 3.5 because I got out 6 months early to go to law school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, joined the Army. You remember my boy Spree? He used to be running around with us.
Yeah.
Spree went to the Army first. Spree enlisted maybe a couple years after you met him back in like the early 2000s. And he was always in my ear like, man, you've been saying you want to go to law school, you want to be a lawyer, man, join the Army, get the GI Bill, they'll pay for it. I was like, man, you crazy. Ain't nobody going to nobody Army.
All about a strategy, brother, and you
I
did
ain't going to nobody Army.
All about a strategy.
Yep. So shout out to Spree, man. He was always in my ear about that. But then when I had my son, it was just like, man, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
How you gonna like support a human being and help develop a human being? And you know, I was doing okay financially, but it just wasn't in a situation where it was like, hey, I felt comfortable with like what I was making and the position I was in. So yeah, man.
Bro, that's fly by night.
Yeah, hit the reset button, join the Army. You know, I already had a college degree, so that kind of helped that process out a little bit. But yeah, deployed to Afghanistan, all of that. The area in Afghanistan that we just saw get toppled here last year, Kandahar.
Damn, you were out there?
I deployed to that base in 2013.
You weren't active duty, were you? Like, you ain't fight, did you?
Nah, I wasn't. Look, I was finance. I had a college degree, baby. I was finance, but look, I was attached to like I was attached to a unit that was out here on the front lines. Like I was in first cab at Fort Hood. So you know the unit that I was attached to, we were their backup. So you know, as troops dwindled down through you know combat and all of that, if it would have got to that point, then my unit would have had to step in.
Man.
Yeah, so by the grace of God, that didn't happen.
Right.
But yeah, I was
like you ain't joined for that.
Yeah, man, I ain't joined for that. But it's wild. It's wild, man. Even being attached to a combat unit, it was like we still had to do all that training and prepare for that.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, my first night, literally, man, we flew into Afghanistan. We land. They open up the back of the big C-130. We coming off. It's like maybe 6:37 at night. Just getting there. We hear the goddamn bomb alerts going off, man. We had like 17 rocket attacks my very first night there.
On the base?
On the base.
They were shooting at the base?
At the base.
Oh.
This is my first night, bro. I just got off the plane. I'm sitting here. So here I'm in a bunker with like all my full battle router gear on in a bunker. Like, yo, what in the hell am I doing here? I just want to be a lawyer. I'm sitting here in a battle zone with rockets coming over my head, bro. Like, that was my first night. It got real. It got real quick, man. So like, you know what I'm saying? Going through that, like I had no choice once I got out but to go to law school because I did not put myself through that to not finish the drill.
That's
crazy. I'm definitely gonna finish the drill after that. So yeah, deployed downrange in Afghanistan for 9 months. Left there, went to Kuwait and Qatar for a minute because I was a finance unit. So Kuwait is like the Fort Knox of the Middle East for like our troops. Like we keep all the money there, all the finances in Kuwait. So my unit was a finance unit. So literally like once we deployed, so to circle back to give people some context behind why that base got toppled. At the time when I deployed to Kandahar in 2013, the base probably had about 80,000 troops. And that was like a UN base. So you had troops from the US there, and all of our UN partnerships had troops there.
Okay.
So over 80,000 troops there. It was the biggest base in Kandahar or in Afghanistan at the time. So the troop, the area was massive. Like it was literally, Kandahar was like its own city. By the time 2021 came, when that base got toppled, like I think it was down to like 6,000 or 7,000 troops. Dang. So that's how the Taliban was able to overtake it. My unit back in 2013, we were drawing down the base back then. That's literally what we went for. We went to like start drawing down the base. So from 2013 all the way to 2019, 2020, we've been slowly getting out of Afghanistan. Now they didn't report it that way on the news. They just made it seem like, oh, Biden made Kandahar get toppled. But literally my mission, Enduring Freedom mission, was to pull out. And that was a decade before, man.
That's crazy. See how I go with this politics, man?
Yeah, that was a whole decade before, 2013, 2014. We've been getting out of Afghanistan since then. And yeah, man, getting over there, I don't know, man. It definitely changed how I view life, and obviously, you get over the rocket attacks, you kind of see things a little different when you come back. But it was like, bro, I ain't never been more focused in my life.
I'm sure.
Like I was because look, I've always been a hustler. I've always been like, I'm gonna figure something out. But like after going through that, bro, the blinders is up. Like I ain't see nothing but become an attorney after that. Nothing. Like nothing else was getting in the way of that after that, because like, I didn't go through all of that to get in this position where I can
warfare. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Agree. Like
straight blinders. Like literally, like I was downrange in Afghanistan, man, studying for the LSAT.
Wow.
Studying to go to law school, taking pre-LSAT tests. And like people in my unit, like it was a few people that knew that was my plan, and my commander definitely knew. But and I'm not gonna say they doubted me, but they just was like, hey, you in the Army? Like, what you mean you gonna be a lawyer? But I wasn't trying to hear it. I was like, bro, watch. As soon as I get up out of here, I'm gonna put in my paperwork for my contract to end, because how they get you, man, in the military, like they try to throw re-enlistment bonuses at you while you're deployed. Wow. And you see that money and it's untaxed, and a lot of people take it.
Yeah.
Like they offer me almost like 50, 60K re-enlistment bonus while I was in Afghanistan, and that would have been untaxed. And on top of that 50 or 60K, I would have got combat pay on top of it because it was in a war zone. So that 50 or 60 probably would have turned into like 65, 70 untaxed. And look, I don't want to make it seem like that's a little bit of money, because it's not. But in the grand scheme of things, when you really think of it, man, what's $70,000 when you literally like are in harm's way?
Yeah, you could die tomorrow.
Yeah, I was like, man, just get me out of here. We'll talk about that when I get back to the States. I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Right.
Like,
That's crazy.
literally could die today. But yeah, I had partners, man. They was like, what do we sign?
Oh,
Give me that 60
get
right
over
now. Yeah, man. And then that's another 4 years tacked on. So you come back, you just got out of deployment. You come home from a deployment with like some good money in your bank account, but you also got 4 more years on your contract.
and can go right back.
And go right back in 8-9 months.
Nope. Hell nah, man.
So for me, bro, I was locked in. I was like, bro, as soon as I get back, I'm gonna wrap up my last year and a half in the military, go to law school, and I've never been more focused in my life.
How long did it take you to get through law school?
Law school 3 years. So I got in the military 2012, got out 2015, almost 2016, like October of 2015. So it was almost going into 2016. So literally I got out, moved back to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta like 3 months studying to take the next LSAT, which is going to be December of 2015. And took the LSAT for New Year's. My boy Spree, shout out to Spree. Spree was stationed in Hawaii at the time. So like after taking the LSAT, like I went to go see him and see Hawaii for like 3 weeks for the new year. And literally while I was in Hawaii, I got my first acceptance letter in the law school, like
That's dope.
3 or 4 days after the new year in 2016. So it's like January 2016 timeframe. And that acceptance was to start the following fall. So I would have started August of 2016. So, you know, me, I'm a Georgia boy, man. Like I was, you see the UGA Cup, like I was holding out to go to either UGA or Georgia State because I wanted to stay at the crib.
Okay.
But my very first acceptance letter was St. Thomas School of Law, and that ended up being the school that I ended up going to. So I ended up moving to Miami for law school for 3 years, 3.5 years, almost 4.
That's not a bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, UGA denied the boy, man. It was like, nah, your score ain't high enough. Georgia State put me on the waiting list. And that law school process to get into law school in itself is like a whole other hustle. Like you got people taking the LSAT 5, 6, 7 times trying to increase their score. Look, I was in my 30s. I was like, we ain't waiting on all that.
Right.
And I had already did my research and talked to a few of my friends at the time who went to law school and was attorneys. And they just was like, hey, man, don't get stuck in that LSAT game. Get you a score good enough to get into law school somewhere. And worst case scenario, you can transfer it to your main school or your first option after your first year. And, you know, look, me being a hustler, I was like, cool, that's what I'll do. But then it was also like, well, St. Thomas is in Miami.
It's in Miami, right.
You know,
that's what I said. That ain't a bad deal.
Who don't want to live in Miami for free for 4 years?
Right.
You know, shout out to the GI Bill. But yeah, to answer your question, law school is 3 years, and then you got to take the bar after that. So yeah, man, 3 years, man, 2016 to 2019, I was down there in the trenches again, just a different kind of trenches because that law school process is brutal. It'll gobble you up. Yeah, it'll gobble you up. But yeah, Lord willing, man, pushed through that thing, wrapped it up, passed the bar, and started my firm, man. Best decision I ever made was going to the military in 2012 because it changed my life. And it allowed me to have the GI Bill to pay for law school, pay for the bar, pay for my housing and living while I was in law school. Like I had friends stressed out about finances, stressed out about rent. Bro, all I had to do was study.
Right. Yeah. It's a play, man. It's all about strategy. But people got to learn strategy. That's all it is. Strategize and make things work for you. You know what I mean? Sure. Just like using the bank's money to go buy real estate or whatever. You got to do what work for you. Play the system because they playing you.
Man, they playing you. Like people say that I tell even attorneys, man, you look at some of these bigger firms out here and man, they ain't spending their money. They spending somebody else's money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you got to build your practice up to the point where you can even get that kind of funding, get that kind of line of credit.
Right.
But you got to do that.
Yeah.
You got to do that. You got to make that sacrifice to build your brand and build your firm. Because it's dog eat dog, man. Like Morgan & Morgan don't care nothing about Brunson and Grant Law.
Right.
Right. They don't care about Brunson and Grant Law. They don't care about none of these law firms. They care about Morgan & Morgan.
Exactly.
and being the best that they can be. And salute to them. At the end of the day, man, I like the competition. I like being the underdog too. But it's also more than enough opportunity out here for solo practitioners, for small size firms, mid size firms, large firms, however you want to see your firm. Like it's an opportunity for you.
Right.
You just gotta lock in and seize that opportunity and make it happen for yourself.
Absolutely. Self-analysis. What do you feel like you could be doing more of or better at to get you to where you're going?
Definitely spending more time on the business aspect of it. Like that's really that balance, that happy median of running the business and doing the lawyering. It like I can definitely improve in that area because look, at the end of the day, man, yeah, I'm an attorney, but having my own practice, I'm also in the business of law.
Yeah.
So it's my job to, be self-aware and also build my team, grow my staff, bring in more business. Because at the end of the day, man, if I don't do it, ain't nobody gonna do it. And who you gonna blame when you the boss?
Right. Ain't nobody doing it for you.
Ain't nobody gonna do it for me. So yeah, I'm definitely aware that like I'm always striving to be a better me, always striving to build my company, to have it in a position where I can maximize everything around me. Once I passed the bar. I mean, I got out of law school 2019, passed the bar in 2020. So that's like in the middle of COVID, man.
Yeah.
So I started my firm during COVID.
Wow.
Everybody told me not to. They was like, bro, why you go get a job? It's COVID, man. People out here ain't doing it. And I wasn't trying to hear that. I was like, hey man, we'll figure it out. Look, everybody working from home, everybody remote. We'll just be remote. We'll be remote too, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, perfect.
I did get an of counsel position with a law firm. I ain't gonna say their name. We ain't gonna promote them. But that of counsel position allowed me to gain some experience as far as like trying cases.
Okay.
And building client relationships, and thankfully, I was able to have some success for that and make that firm a whole lot of money while also making my own firm some money. And that experience just let me know that I can do it.
Yeah.
Let me know I can do it. It let me know, hey man, it's just like anything else in life. You gotta try. You have to start. Yep. You gotta start, and then once you start, you gotta You gotta have some self-awareness to learn from mistakes, figure out what works, and implement that stuff into your everyday process. It's entrepreneurship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just I'm an attorney doing it. So, yeah, man, just being a little more balanced when it comes to business and being a lawyer like that. I think that's all of our that's probably something all of us try to do in business. Like be good at whatever that craft is, but also be a good business person and merge the two.
Right.
So everything goes smoothly and everything take care of itself.
Absolutely, man. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you if they need your services, brother.
Man, you can catch me on IG at attorney DBG. My firm's website is brunsongrantlaw.com. We're actually redoing the website right now, but it's still up. We'll probably roll out the new launch of the firm probably August 1, I'm thinking. Where else? Injured Today called Donté. That's a hashtag and that's an @
What is it called?
Injured Today
called Donté.
Donté.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
Hey, no doubt, man. Had to have you on here, brother. It's good catching up with you, man. We go way back.
Way back, man. Way back.
Way back, brother. Good to see you doing good, though, for real, man.
Likewise with you, brother, and congrats on the show and all the success. I see them subscribers, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I see it. You out here grinding, man. Look, and I ain't surprised at all because, look, just like I say, I always had the entrepreneur spirit. You did too, man. What y'all might not know, man, Cardi been a one-man band. Like, y'all see how this come together. My brother is a student of whatever it is when he was doing. When he was doing music, he was recording him. He built his own studio at the crib. He recorded himself. He mixed himself. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't like I'm not surprised at all. And I'm pretty sure with your setup here now, bro, you probably hands on with it. Like you always was that person that was gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
You ain't gonna wait around for somebody to do it for you. Like
bruh.
you'll do the research and do it yourself. Invest your
Oh,
own money, bro. I salute to that because so many people scared to like put their own money and stuff, man. You've been doing that since we met.
yeah.
Crazy.
I ain't waiting on nobody, bro. This is all
Nah.
me over here. I'm running.
Yeah, you never have, man. You
know
never
what I'm
have
saying?
that, bro. And I'm telling y'all, man, one man band.
For real.
One man band, dog. Like doing your own shirts, flyers, man. I salute to you, brother, because you have definitely always had that grind, man, and I'm glad to see it coming to fruition right
Thank
now,
you,
man.
brother.
You deserve it, my brother. So
Thank you,
salute
brother.
to you.
Thank you, man. 4 years strong, brother. I have not missed a Tuesday, even if I'm out the country, bro. I'm on this thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I ain't surprised at all. That part don't surprise me at all, man. That's who you are. It's Cardi Dark, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I love it. Yeah, man. But no, for real, bro. So good to see you, man. So good to catch up with you. I'm proud of you, brother. Like, for real, man. I'll be praying for you, supporting you, following you. Just keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
And keep changing lives. You know, you out there doing God's work, honestly. Cause you
man.
helping people.
Look, man, people see these car accident lawyers and all of that. End of the day, man, I love helping people, especially people that look like me.
Yeah.
And, you know, shout out to all of my clients who trust me to help them when they get in those unfortunate situations because let's call it what it is, man. Some of those situations turn people's lives upside down.
Absolutely.
So I don't take that for granted at all that my clients trust me to help them in that situation. And we always gonna put the client first at Brunson Grant Law. And I ain't saying that as like a marketing or advertising ad. That's really what it is because like I wouldn't have the opportunity if I didn't have clients that trusted me. Like I wouldn't be in a position where I could have my own practice and build my own firm and have employees and all of that stuff. So, yeah, man, we always gonna look out for our people and make sure we can help them win, man. But for real, yo, I'm a lawyer first and foremost, y'all. So, hey, we gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I said I made it clear. This brother is not a reality personality. This brother
man, that's just a little piece, a little side piece,
right,
of the grand scheme of things.
Right, just a little pit stop during the journey. That's all that is.
For sure. I mean? Appreciate you, brother, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt, my brother. Hey, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. You know where I'm at every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, kicking it with somebody like Donté B. Grant, y'all. Just giving y'all the gems, giving y'all the game, giving y'all the free game and that value, man. This is what we do it for. Do it for you. Can't do it without you. Can't say it enough. We are out of here. Till next time. Peace and love. Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.